something like don't get your A beat or something. And I was really like ready. Like, I don't know why this day I was so ready. She darted into me. Oh, she was like, you ripped my favorite shirt, bitch. And I don't know, it just made me so mad. And I was like, cha-ching, Sheen shirt. I don't know what is wrong with me. But I took the shirt and I went, I ripped it apart. And then she was exposed.
Our love will shine at the dawn of a brand new feeling. Just take your time and you see that the magic's on its way.
Hey guys, it's your girl Beauty, and today is a special day. Why am I so happy? Girl, because I posted. And plus, look at my set. Look at my set. Get into it. Get into it. Y'all know I got the best jewelry, y'all. Shop my brand. Who do I have on right now? I have on the Emperor, period. I'm giving Emperor energy. If you're new here, why are you new? I'll wait. Okay, that's enough. Now let's get into the video. Today's story time is going to be about how I got into my first fight, okay? And this is like so unexpected. If you know me and see my content, I'm not on the same frequency as fighting. That's not what it gives, okay? So this story is long. So if you're ready for the tea, if you're ready for how the situation folded out and how it happened, I'm just about to get into the entire story time right now, okay? I can't believe I'm talking about this. I gotta make sure I have the receipt. Hold on. I have to make sure I have the receipt. Okay, so this fight is actually with my sister, and I know it's like, oh, a sibling fight. No, it was way deeper than that, y'all. And oh my god, this fight was so dragged out. I'm actually quite embarrassed to say I didn't handle this shit when I was 15. Like, I'm really embarrassed to come to y'all and say that. So before we get into the video, I want to say that, you know, me and my sister, when we were younger, we had a closer relationship. And growing up, I became very keeping to myself, moving in silence, and just trying to be successful. So that really put a damper on me and my sister's relationship. So I'm going to say that to start out. Ooh, yeah. I was going to wait some time to tell this story because I didn't want it to be like, oh, you're talking about me or nothing like that, because I simply just wanted to laugh at the situation. It's like, you learn, you live, you move on. You're a bad guy in somebody's story. Nobody's perfect. So I was gonna wait like some time to tell this story, but this story happened a couple of months ago, and like, I'm really over it, to be honest. So we're gonna start out with the beginning. From when I was younger to getting older to about 19 years old. I'm 20 right now. Me and my sister had a feud, okay? And I didn't really know why we had this feud, but ever since we weren't as close anymore, and I didn't mean for it to make it seem like I didn't want to be close with her, because that wasn't the case. It just was, I had to find myself, and she was like my mother figure, so I would always be under her, and we would get into like a lot of mess and stuff like that. And I wanted to find who I was. I wanted to take the spiritual route. I'm gonna give you guys like a backstory so that you can kind of understand our relationship. Long time ago, it was like when I was like 16 or something. This is when me and Brennan first got together. And so me, my parents, my brother, my sister, and her boyfriend, we all went on this camping trip. Now the girls got to bring a +1, so I brought Brendan. That was my +1. And then she said, okay, since Ashton's bringing Brendan, dang, we gotta give my sister a name. Okay, so we're gonna give my sister a name, and it's gonna be Kayla. Okay, so Kayla was basically like, okay, well, since Ashton gets to bring Brendan, Kayla wants to bring her boyfriend. So that was kind of like the arrangement. And I guess my parents, they were really trying to work with us because we didn't want to go out there. We were all like cooped up in the RV, and you can't really like be too loud or run around and all that stuff. It's not enough room for all that. But once you get out there and once you get to your destination, it's fine. We get in the RV, and what a lot of people don't say is when you rent an RV and you're driving that thing to wherever, it's gonna make you so sick, so freaking motion sick. Imagine your entire house moving, or your entire room just moving constantly. You're like, we end up getting to the campsite. We set up, and it's super beautiful. It's all these mossy trees, and its lakes, and there was rocking chairs and ducks. It was so freaking pretty. I love to explore. I love a good view. I could literally sit and stare at water all day and just talk to Brendan about literally nothing. So I was really excited about this trip because I felt like I really needed it. Once we got there, I was kind of more comfortable once I seen the view, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like, I don't have to be social and be around everybody. Like, I can talk like, hey, good morning and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna go out my way and, you know, just be all in everybody's face, because I wasn't here. Like, anytime I go through a lot, like, I get in my mental like deep, because what messed me up as a kid was when I would go through stuff, it would be prolonged. Like, it would be like this but dragged out. So instead of it being like a moment where I was thinking, or a couple weeks where I was overthinking, it turned into like years and stuff like that, because the situations never stopped. They never came to an end. So I was in my head because we already had a falling out before, and during this ride she would say slick stuff, right? Back in the day, I was not, bro, I did not stick up for myself. Like, I was really giving punk. Story time inside a story. Okay, when I was in middle school, there was this girl. Yeah, we're just gonna call her Shaylee. When I was in middle school, there was this girl named Shaylee, and we were like best friends, and I was talking my ish. Like, I don't know why I was so fake in middle school, but I went over her house and we were close, but we weren't as close as me and my best friend. She was trying to get in like the group with me and my best friend or whatever. So I went to Shaylee's house. It was just me and Shaylee, and we were going to meet with like the rest of the group the next day. They were going to come over. But when we got there, she started getting undressed like in front of me. So I was already taken off guard. And then it was like a big old blood stain on the back of her pants, right? And I don't know why I did this, but I texted my best friend. I was like, girl, like, she started changing in front of me and it was a blood stain. Like, I just had to tell my best friend because I felt like, you know, that was just too much, you know? Like, it's like, we just met. It's my first time over your house. It was a lot. And I really messed with Shaylee. So I didn't want it getting back to her that I said that, like, about her. Child, I was fake in middle school. But anyways, I don't know. Like, I was in a friend group, so it was a lot of drama. Like, anytime you're in a friend group in middle school, it's gonna be so much drama over boys, over this, over that. And I wasn't really looking into boys. It would just be like, I'm not messing with so-and-so, so you don't need to mess with so-and-so, and we need to bring so-and-so back together, and we need to have a discussion. It was all this extra mess. So Shaylee was trying to get in the friend group because she was new to the school. I had already had my friends established. So I text my best friend at the time. So we gonna call my best friend Darius. I hit up Darius and I was like, girl, she got undressed in front of me, and it was a period stain. And I was like, so anyways, when are you coming? Because that was like my person I was close to. That was kind of like my safe person in that situation. So I was at her house. She had a trampoline. We was jumping on her trampoline, all that stuff. Boom. I didn't know that my best friend Darius was a op. Like, anything I would tell her, she would tell the whole school, and I would be like, how does she know that? But I wouldn't catch on quick enough because we was in middle school and I wasn't thinking that hard. So she tells her this. And at the time in my school, like, y'all are not ready. At the time in my school, my image was everything. I would be a tomboy. Everybody knew me. I was loud. I was, you could say outgoing. Yeah, I was outgoing. But I was just, you know, my ego was up here. I thought I ran the middle school because I knew all the teachers. And like, I don't know. I felt like I was just like the king of the pen. Like, so it gets back to Shaylee that I was like, I seen the blood, right? And Shaylee comes to school and she was like, you was talking about me, right? And this got me so off guard because I'm thinking like, oh my God, mind you, this girl is bigger than me. When she was in the school, she was more developed than all the girls. So I'm this skinny stick, and you know, she got top, bottom, and all the boys want her. So I'm like, dang, if I fight her, like, that's really gonna throw off my what's the word? That's really gonna throw off my reputation, right? So, this story makes me so mad. This story makes me so mad. This is not the first fight situation. I'm just telling y'all this to show y'all how punk I was. So okay. So Shaylee comes up to me while I'm at my locker, And I'm in my locker and she's like, you was talking mess about me? And I was like, no. Girl, just tell her. So I was like, no, who said that? Darius. I was like, yo, that should have been the key right there to cut her off. But for some reason, I was still rocking with Darius like that because we were best friends for 3 years. Nah, I don't care how long the time is anymore. If you keep letting them in your life, they're going to keep doing this for more years. And you're just telling yourself, like, as a psych out, I need to stay here because we've been together for, like, we've been best friends for, like, 4 years. Nah, that is so toxic. Anyways, next, move on. So I'm like, Darius is a up. I didn't say that out loud because I'm thinking this. I'm like, what? So as she say that, she pushes my locker and it, like, pushes me. She did something where, like, she did like this and she pushes me and my locker goes wham and it shuts closed, right? So it's kind of like making a scene. Oh my god. So I'm thinking in my head, like, it was like a split second, like a video game. What do I do? Left, walk away and act like it didn't happen, everybody think I'm punk, or right, push her back? So I went with right, push her back, because for some reason my middle school brain only thought stuff out minute to minute. Like, it did not think long term. It was like, as long as I keep the lie up this much, I'm good. So I'm like, yeah, it'll be better for my reputation if I push her back and we, like, really get into it. Mind you, I didn't even know if I could fight for real. So, oh, this story makes me so mad. Oh my god, this story makes me so mad. There was this kid named Jalen Hanley with this big freaking book bag. His book bag was like this big, bro. Ah! He makes me so fucking angry. So look, his book bag was like this big and he had a bottom locker not under me but right beside me. So hold on, I'm sorry, it wasn't right beside me. He had a bottom locker and it wasn't like directly under me, but it was like 2 lockers over. So when she was in my face talking to me and had pushed my locker, Jalen Hanley was in the bottom of the bottom locker. So I'm thinking we're gonna go with right, we're gonna push her back. Or that's me choosing between left or right. So I'm like, we're gonna push her back. So I go wham, and here was how I thought about it. If I push her with everything I got, we probably ain't gotta fight, because you know she could probably get really injured. Like, we probably stop the fight right there. Like, if I push her like big dog, she probably gonna think I'm big dog. So like, I did not mean for this to happen on everything, bro on my dead hamsters. I did not mean for this to happen. Jalen Hanley was in his locker with his big book bag, and when I pushed her, she tumbled over him and fell. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I accidentally started a fight with one of the, like, most known girls in school. She known for beating people up. And she ain't lay hands on nobody. I don't know. You know how the rumors get started? I don't know why we was so dumb. So the bell rung and we went to school. It was people helping her up. And I was like, the fuck? Like, you know I had to talk my stuff. Like, you know I had to talk my stuff, so shut up. Meanwhile, in my head, like, Mom, I think you should pick me up early. I'm sick. We go a couple classes. I don't see her. So I'm like, out of sight, out of mind. That whole day I'm making people laugh. I'm just being like the whole center of attention, because I'm thinking she is off my back, bro, and she know who big dog is. So it came lunchtime and I had a boyfriend. This is Jam Jam from that story time when he cheated on me with his aunt. That's linked in the description. Anyways, Jam Jam, you have a good life. Ooh, I'm just kidding, it's all jokes, guys. Yeah, so Jam Jam was in line, and I just really feel like you was on op behavior to do this, because if you my man, you supposed to stand behind me. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to stand behind me. So I'm smart. So we had these 2 hallways and the lunchroom had met here. So I'm thinking, when the bell rang for lunch, because it wasn't no A lunch, B lunch, it was all of us in the cafeteria, and I just knew she was gonna fight me, bro. I know it, I know it, I know it. Anyways, so she was like, oh, I'm gonna fight her at lunch. That's what I was hearing around town. So I'm like, all right, when the bell ring, I'm not gonna go through the hallway everybody go through. I'm gonna go through the old big kids hallway. So when I come out, I'm big dog. So yeah. So I'm walking out with my big book bag. Mind you, I went to a charter school. To set the scene, I went to a freaking charter school. So I had this long skirt, necktie up to here, bow tie, long formal. I mean, it wasn't like you could fight in it, because like once you go to that school for a long time, like I don't know, it's just like you're used to wearing it, but if I were to put it on now, I'll be a bit uncomfortable, you know. So I come through the hallway, I'm like, Jam Jam. Mind you, we all had to wear flats in this school, bro. So I'm like, Jam Jam, Shaylee trying to fight me because I'm giving him the whole rundown. Here he go. What? I'm like, so you really not gonna stick behind me right now? Like, if I tell you that, you supposed to be like, do we have a problem? Jam Jam, you laughed in my face. And part of me was in disbelief. Like, cause I'm like, you really not gonna stand behind me? But I'm not thinking this cause I'm in middle school. But I was thinking something like this, but it didn't come out like this. So I'm like, what? So after I realized when he didn't care, I just kind of brushed it off like a joke. That was how I coped back then. So I'm like, man, she ain't gonna do this. You know, I gotta keep talking my stuff. As long as I keep this lie up and I get a couple hits in, they know I step in the pen. They know I step in the pen. So look, I see her at lunch. I'm like, oh my God, it's this long lunch line. Mind you, I came on this hallway, so I cut the lunch line. Everybody like, you cut. I'm not trying to hear all that right now. Jam Jam. Right? So we're there. I see Shaylee bumping her way up in line, yo. I'm like, yo. But that's me in my head. Outside, I'm like, man, y'all gotta go. I'm finna get my lunch. My mom outside. I do understand why she wanted to fight me, because we were supposed to be close and she didn't want that getting out to everybody, you know. Like, that's just like, that's weird. And the thing was, when I said it, I wasn't trying to make it get out to everybody. I was strictly trying to be like, why did this happen, you know? So that's the story time of how my ego was, right? We're gonna fast forward to back when we out on that swamp, okay? So put yourself in this same mindset, except I'm not on that big dog stuff. I'm really just trying to find myself. I decided to drop the facade about, what, 16? And I was like, who am I? And, you know, it was around that time, it was peace, love, happiness, and don't fight, and put the guns down, and plastic straws. I'm at the swamp, and my sister has beef with me that I don't even understand. I don't even kind of know about. Like, no, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I knew about it because certain things will happen like this. Like, I'll be upstairs with Brendan and I'll be asleep, and I would hear her talking about me over the balcony, like random rumors, like, oh, she's pregnant, when I wasn't even doing the deed. Hey, yo, let me live, bro. So, like, what I did here? What did I do here, bro? And then it was another situation where I remember my sister, she had like a function. Like, she would have a lot of kickbacks, a lot of parties and stuff. And, you know, she was known for that. And we would always have fun, but I just kind of grew out of it. So she would still hang with the same people from those kickbacks, and I would be cordial, but I felt like we didn't really have anything in common, because, you know, I didn't anymore, and I didn't curse as much. I didn't talk about the same things. I didn't wear Jordans. It's like I was going through like my self-discovery thing. So like my sister, she was looking at me like, girl, who are you? Like, what are you? You know, that was kind of her point of view. And I remember this one time she was talking about me. She had a whole party and it kind of like died down, and it was like 6 people at the table. It was my brother, my cousins, and all of her friends. It was like 6 of her friends. And she was like, yeah, Ashton's a punk. She's so pussy, like, out of nowhere. And I'm like, I'm hearing it from over the banister. I'm like, I'm looking at Brendan like, where's this coming from? Like, where? I'm not even down there. What is the point, you know? So that upset me, because I was upset with my brother. I was like, she owes me no loyalty because we're not close, but you, why are you at the table while she's talking and saying all this stuff? And that was when I was kind of at the point where I was building my own kahunas. I didn't know this, but I was kind of like building my own confidence, you know? So I started to realize my boundaries, and that I didn't like certain things. And I spoke to my brother about it. I was like, I felt like that was really foul, and we talked about it. He was like, I don't know, we talked about it, and we got past it. So we're on this trip, and she still has that same animosity. On this trip, you could rent bikes and all this stuff, right? This story is so long. I just need y'all to understand, like, I need y'all to understand how this came together like this, because if I don't tell this story like this, y'all not going to understand the impact, the importance. Y'all not going to understand that this was not just no ordinary fight, okay? Now, if I told y'all the entire story, we'll be sitting here all dang day. So, we were on this trip, and there were 2 bikes rented. It was beautiful out there. They had the whole setup. They had movies, and it was very therapeutic. But every morning, what did I call my sister, bro? Michaela? I think I call her Michaela. Did I call her Michaela? We gonna call her Michaela now, because I forgot what I had called her. So Michaela would wake up yelling every morning about something different. Now, I'm not the type of person where, like, I don't like that. Like, I like everybody to be chill, and I like to have fun, memorable times. I don't like to complain too much, because, you know, there's a lot we can complain about. Like, there's a lot. But if somebody wants to talk about something personal with them, I can talk about it. But I just don't like to hear complaining, or I don't like to hear, like, you shoulda da-da-da-da-da-da. It's a certain tone of voice I'm, like, trying to describe, like, So y'all ever heard someone talk, but the way they talk is like they're always yelling? So their voice kind of just gets, like, annoying after a while, because you don't like that yelling stuff. So that's where I was, and I was just so annoyed. So I was like, I'm gonna get the bikes, and me and Brennan are gonna go to the water. And it was like early in the morning, like everyone had woken up and they had cooked and all this stuff. And me and Brennan get the bikes, and we're like, finally. So we're sitting down in the rocking chairs, and we're just laughing. We're like, bro, how much longer can we do this? Like, we see our relationship going, like how much we love each other, stuff like that, you know, couple stuff. So, you know, we're just sitting in the rocking chairs talking to each other, like, oh, look at that kid, look at that kid. You know how you be at the park, like, look at him, he taking, the bird's finna take his snacks. That's what we were doing, right? We hadn't realized that it was probably 30 minutes that passed, because we were enjoying ourselves so much. Like, that was the one time that I was really enjoying myself on that trip. And that was when we were on those bikes, like when we could get away. Because I felt like when we were, like, crunched up inside of the RV, it was just too much, you know. And I get it, we rented the bikes, everyone had a certain amount of time, and it was an hour or something like that. So she probably got mad because I spent 30 minutes out there. But I was thinking, I'll spend my 30 minutes now, and then I'll spend my other 30 minutes like another time, and then they can have the bike for the rest. Like, I'm not even gonna bug to get another hour logged in. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna get my 30 minutes in here. I'm gonna split it up in 2, basically. So I'm out there for like 30 minutes, and Brennan, like, he brings me back to reality. He's like, all right, well, we should start heading back now. So I'm like, all right. So I get on the bike, and he gets on the bike, and he was like, what are the odds that, like, this would start something? And I was like, what? I was very, what's that word? What is that word? I was very ignorant. I was very ignorant to drama and, like, toxicity back then, and I would always try to hope for the best. But now, like, certain stuff I don't even dabble into, because I know it's gonna start drama, or, like, I don't know, certain stuff I don't even fuel anymore. Like, say if I went on that trip now, I wouldn't even take the bikes. I would just walk somewhere with him, and we would just, like, be over there. Like, I don't know, like, over time you learn what triggers people, and, like, how if somebody wants to find some issue wrong with you, they're going to find an issue wrong with you. It doesn't matter what you do. Over time you just kind of learn to adapt. So around this time I had not adapted. I got on the bike, and I was like, what do you mean? Like, what did we do wrong? We only took it for 30 minutes. And I was doing the time in my head, like, am I tripping? So when we got back, my sister was like, where have y'all been? Y'all took the bikes for me and her boyfriend. And I was like, oh, you could take them now. Like, being nice, even though she was yelling at me. I was like, oh, you can take them now. And whatever, we're gonna keep going. Whatever, don't forget your helmet, all this. So she was, like, really mad. She was fuming, but she was like, oh, okay. And she put her helmet on, and then she goes off on the bikes, and the whole camp is like, whew, thank God, because, like, it was just a lot of, like, drama. So she leaves with her boyfriend, and they're gone for a bit. And Brennan was talking to me. He was like, yeah, we shouldn't have took the bikes. Like, next time if we want to leave, like, we got to check with everybody, because basically it felt like we were walking on eggshells at this point, like, with the entire family. So I was like, you know what, let's just not even take the bikes no more. Like, if you want, we can walk there. And that's what we initially started doing. We started walking down there. Even though on a bike ride it was kind of quick, we still just end up walking over time. And it sucks because it was such a beautiful place. Like, where we were was so beautiful. I don't even know where we were to go again, but it was so beautiful. But like, that's the lesson. Like, if you go on a trip with the wrong person, it can mess up like your vision or your view of the trip. So when you go on trips, just be careful who you take with you, because it can really mess up the trip. So by that point, I'm ready to go home, because even though I was being nice, she was kind of triggering like how I already didn't like myself. And basically everyone knew like, oh, Ashton, she's gonna fold, or all this stuff. They kind of knew I couldn't stick up for myself, and I just didn't want to be real with myself. That's just what it was. So I would tell myself like, oh, it's gonna get better, like you just have to pray and wait for karma. No. Who the fuck is that? Okay, that was a package. Out there, I was like, bro, I kind of already want to go home. Like, it just blew the whole trip for me, because like every day we woke up, it was something new that they were arguing about, and she would be arguing with him. So I'm like, I can't, like, this voice is gonna make me go crazy. So while we were out there, it was like towards the last day, and my brother was like, let's go fishing. I was like, not really feeling it. And then Brandon was talking to me separate. He was like, just go fishing, like don't let that mess up your trip, like get the best out of trip. He was kind of coaching me through this entire situation. He was like, don't let that mess up your trip, and like if she starts to pick on you or anything like that. And I saw the situation as bullying. I really did, because when I grew up, like she would always beat on me or talk down to me. And I felt like for a short period when we were close and we were in high school, as long as I did what she said, we were good. So I was kind of her puppet, you know. But when I started to back up, I was a bit insecure with myself and who I was and my reality and stuff. And I was seeing stuff for what it really was. And it taught me that instead of trying to befriend a monster, or like, and I don't even want to say she was a monster, this is just at the moment, this was at back then. So instead of trying to befriend your demons and be under them and just be like, oh, I'll do whatever you say, no, sometimes you have to like raise up, you know, to where you're on the same level. And like, if y'all argue, y'all argue. If y'all fight, y'all fight. But it'll just pay more in the long run if you go about the route that I took when I got older. So we were there and we went fishing. Everyone grabbed their rod. My brother was like, everyone grab your rod. I went last because I specifically felt like I've always been intuitive. I haven't always been spiritual, but I've always been intuitive. My brain talks to me before I even be knowing stuff. Like, it'd be like, girl, don't grab that. Don't do that. And in this story, in my first fight story, y'all about to hear how my brain was talking to me through this entire situation. I don't even grab a fishing rod. My brother was like, here you go. He grabbed one for me because he didn't want things to be awkward. Because I was just not going to grab a fishing rod because I felt like she was gonna argue with me about the fishing rod. Like, I know it was stupid, but I really did feel like that. So I took the fishing rod and we're fishing, we're having fun. We ain't catching jack nothing, but we are on like this little ledge and there's this big river and there's two trees and we're throwing our things in and we're like, oh, we got a pool, but we didn't bring up anything. You know, the fish were really giving us a run for our money. And my sister, she got mad. She was like, I think it's something wrong with my fishing rod. Why did you give her the better fishing rod? I knew it. Like, I thought I was like, I don't know, I thought I was psychic. I was like, I knew it. So I literally was like, here, like because I didn't feel like dealing with it. Like, I was so annoyed. And at the time, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I really didn't know if I could fight, like anything like that. So I was like, I don't want to get beat up in front of my boyfriend. Like, what the so I'm really like trying to give y'all the nitty gritty and tell y'all up front, because if y'all experience this, it's gonna help so many people. Like, and trust me, it's gonna make the ending much better. So yeah, so I was like, here, and I was just kind of making it look, I didn't care. But she was really triggering that wound again, where everybody saw me as a punk and I was just in denial. So I handed fishing rod to her and I'm ready to leave. So she has a fishing rod and she's like, better, and she gets it and she starts wheeling it and she throws it to, like, you know, go out and get a fish, and she gets it stuck in the tree. So I just start walking away, and Brandon's helping my brother pack up, and that was kind of the end of the fishing stuff. And her and her boyfriend kind of walked ahead because they were mad. She was like, I can't believe something was wrong with the fishing rod. I got it stuck in the tree. She did something to it. So they were kind of like mad at like me, but like I didn't do anything to the fishing rod, I promise you. So they started like walking up ahead, and then me, my brother, and my boyfriend they were like, bro, like, you gotta stand up for yourself, because she's gonna keep picking on you. And I remember getting teary-eyed. Like, I was like, I don't know how. Like, if y'all know what face I'm making, I was just like, I don't know how. Like, how? You know, I was asking them for pointers and stuff, because my sister, she was known for like beating up people or like fighting in college, and she was a track runner. She was the athlete. I was a theater kid. I was asking them like how and stuff. And they was giving me pointers and all that stuff. They was like, yeah, you gotta stick up for yourself, or she's gonna walk over you like forever. So I was like, okay. And that's when I really was like, dang, it's time to face this demon, right? So that was the backstory of our relationship. 555. That was the backstory of our relationship and how we were as siblings. It was kind of like, I know people may say, oh, it's just a sibling feud, but that went really far. Like, that didn't have to go that far, and it really messed up our relationship in the long run. So we're gonna jump forward to present day, and we're gonna talk about how I got in this fight. If you are still here, put brown hearts in the comments so that I know you watched it up until this point. And now you're about to get the tea, because you guys had to understand the backstory before I could bring you up all the way to right here where we are. If I were to tell you how this fight happened, you guys would not understand the severity and how much it built up to get to this point. So this was about a long time after this trip. My what did I call my sister again? Mariah? Yeah. So Mariah had been picking on me like with other little things. I remember I got a lock on my door because someone had stole something out my room. So I got a lock on my door that only I could open. And I remember I wasn't home, and my sister was like, let me in there. I think she has my dress. Me and my sister, we weren't really close in like, how many years? What? Like 4 years? So the dress wouldn't be in there. I don't wear party dresses anymore. I wear turtlenecks and like the same pants. So I was like, the dress wouldn't be in there, but I wasn't home. I was out with my friends. Every weekend I would always go to my friends. So I was at my friends, and I get this text, and my dad's like, you need to give me another key so that I can open your door. Like, your sister's looking for her jacket in there or her dress in there or something. And I was like, I don't have it in my room. And I kind of had a peace of mind knowing that they couldn't get in my room, because I felt so violated by everyone. I felt like the last thing I had was my room. Just do not come in my room. Like, don't. Like, that's the last thing I have. I don't even know how to say it, like, to the severity. Like, this is the last thing I have. I kind of felt like if they walked in there, like, it was like tainted or whatever on it. So after that happened, I was just, my brain, like, the gears got turning. I was really going through a lot, and we were experiencing a lot of family issues and stuff like that. A lot of people passed away, and I didn't really take it well. I started to experience anxiety, depression, derealization, and like, you know, like nightmares, and I had trouble breathing. And I'm gonna tell you this is a key pointer in the story. I had a fear of exercise and heat. My friend passed away from running on a track, and it was really hot outside, and she passed away from heat exhaustion. And at first it wasn't really a fear, it was just really rare. I remember watching it on the news. I felt like I couldn't escape it. Like, I literally went to my neighbor's house. She's older, you know, I go over there sometimes to take care of her and talk to her. And she cut on the news. You know, older people, they love the news. She cuts it on, and they're saying like my friend's full name on there, and I'm like they have like the same playback running, and they're telling the story, and I'm just like, that's really not how I wanted to find out what happened. Because I found out before that, but I didn't feel like I could be vulnerable in this house. So the gears started turning, and I said, oh, run to your neighbor's house and just go over there and act like everything's fine, and we'll just keep dealing with this second by second. But when we got over there, the news came on, and then the throat came, my lump, what? And then the lump in the throat came, and I felt so overwhelmed and like helpless. And then after that, I ended up going to her funeral. And I remember talking to my other neighbor. Everybody in my neighborhood, we were really close growing up. We used to do co-op. They used to be, I don't know, it was like we all were like very close. We would all play outside together and stuff like that. So I remember talking to one of my neighbors, and she was like, oh, how are you and your sister and your mom? And I was like, everybody's good. You know, you guys know the deal. I felt like I was kind of putting on this facade to go to that funeral, because I didn't feel like I was in my right mind. Everyone else was crying, but I had a straight face on because at one, I was going through a spiritual awakening, trying to figure myself out and why it was so scary. Like I was really wondering why my fight or flight was leaning towards more flight. So yeah, I remember being at the funeral, and one of my she's my old best friend, but she was crying on my shoulder, and I was like, dang, like this is not the way I wanted to meet back up with you. Like, this is so sad. And they almost got me with that slideshow. The goal was not to cry. It was just I couldn't feel my emotions. Around that time, my emotions were defaulted, like they were pushed back further. Hold on, what's the word? They didn't come out when they were supposed to, because I couldn't really be vulnerable. So even if I wanted to cry and I was really upset, I couldn't cry. And I'm still kind of like that till this day. Like if I want to cry, I'm just like if I'm around people, it won't come out. I don't give a fuck what happens. So it just doesn't come out. So yeah, so a week after that, I got another call that one of my other friends passed away. Same school, same type of vibe, and we were all very tight-knit because we were a charter school with not a lot of us. I ended up going to that funeral, and it was just really sad. He passed, ooh, it's scaring me talking about this. He passed away the same way, and that's when it became a fear. My fear of exercising and my fear of heat. Now we're going to bring it back to this story. I was working on my business. I was here in my room overthinking about all the things that just happened. Mind you, like I said at the funeral, that neighbor I was talking to, apparently she had cancer the entire time and she didn't tell anybody, and she passed away. And while I was working in the backyard, I watched everything happen, like her being taken out the house, the ambulance, like all that stuff. And I was like, whoa, I can't believe like she passed away in that house. Like, I don't know, like I just remember seeing everything and I was like, why are the ambulance lights off? You know? So yeah, it really like triggered me like hard. So I was overthinking about all this, and I was in my room and I was trying to work. And a lot of like what I would do back then was like if I feel anything, I would like throw myself into my work. So I'm packing boxes and I'm getting together a really big launch. And I remember being super excited about this. Around this time, me and my sister's relationship, it was okay. It was cordial, you know? And I was trying to put my foot out there because I've always been the type of person like, I used to give second chances. Now I'm not a second chance ass bitch. I'm so sorry. If you wrong me once, you'll do it again. Like, I don't know, you'll never get the same me twice. And that's obviously my toxic trait, like being able to cut people off like this. That's really toxic. Anyways, so yeah, so I try to, you know, branch out and give her another chance and put our feud behind us and show her like, hey, like, although you may not like me for this, and this, I can show you how to do this. I can show you. What do you want? TikTok followers? I can show you how to get this. What do you want? YouTube? I can show you how to do this. Like, you know, I want to share this knowledge with you. It's not as I'm looking down on you or I think I'm better than you. That's never the case. Anybody who hangs out with me and like together, they know I'm not like the cocky friend. I'm confident in myself, but I know that I have my flaws and I own it. So, and I know other people have their flaws as well. So I remember packing boxes and being in my room and getting ready for a super big launch, and I was starving, okay? Starving. So my boyfriend, when I would like work really hard like that, he would usually DoorDash me something and like, you know, take care of me. Like he'd be like, did you eat today? No. Because he knew I would throw myself into my work. He calls DoorDash to my place, and that's usually how we did it. But this night, my father was not here. My father went to go see my mother, all the way, like, he was gone. He was all the way in Philadelphia, right? So when this happened, there were no parents in the house. Now, I know you guys are sick of backtracking, but for you guys to understand the severity of the betrayal that I felt in this moment, I'm going to give you guys this backstory. A week before, I remember I hit 14K on TikTok, and it was like rising. And people were like buying my stuff. They were interested in my products, and I was super happy. I was super proud of myself. And I finally found my fling, you know, like my thing or whatever. And I would share it with my father, and he was like, oh, maybe you should share it with your sister. I was like, I don't know about that, because like in the past, like that hasn't led to good stuff. So yeah, so he was like, he hinted something like, oh, he said it again. And I was basically like, you know what, I'm trying to start fresh with her and like understand like where she comes from, because I do totally understand that there are two sides to a story, and you may think one thing about a person, but it could be like a whole nother story that you don't really understand, that like that makes a lot of sense. Like you know what, like Harry Potter was so against Voldemort, but when you actually saw Voldemort's story, you were like, dang, like if I was Voldemort, I would be Voldemort too. So I was trying to give her a second chance, and this was when my dad was here, and she came upstairs and she was like, oh look, I'm finna get these nails, or she said something and it was on her phone and she was showing me, and I was like, oh cool. Mind you, I was trying to branch out. I was trying to be nice. So I was like, oh, like I threw a bone. What are you doing today? Or da 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 da, right? Having a conversation, and she's like, oh, your room looks so different. So it was already, I cannot stress this enough, but like my room is a very sacred place to me. I don't let a lot of people in my room, and that's just kind of like my me rule. And yeah, so it was a really big step for me to like let her and see what I was working on and just be open with it, because I was coming from a place like, look what I'm doing. Do you want me to show you how to build a business? Do you want me to show you how to like do the TikTok stuff? Like I can show you all this stuff, just really putting her on with all the information I've learned. And that's kind of how it was. And she was like, I'm so proud of you, and you come so far, right? We're gonna go back to when my father left. So after we had that talk, I was kind of thinking like, oh, we were cool, because even before the argument, like she's never spoken up and said anything to me. She never like expressed the argument to me, but I guess she was always angry about it. She was angry about me, Brendan door dashing me food, and I wouldn't share with the family. But I was like, if I'm not paying for it, you know, like I'm not paying for it. That, I guess she was upset about that, and this is how this entire fight started. It started over a slice of fucking pizza. Bro, I would never expect me to fight over some ish like this. So she left the room, and we're gonna fast forward to when my father left. You know, we say goodbye to him. He goes to Philly to go see my mom, and there are no grown-ups in this house besides my aunt. So it was kind of like a laxed environment, you know, like there was no parents, like everybody was watching TV, eating chips on the couch, stuff like that. So I'm thinking like, oh, we're just having a chill weekend. I could probably stay here and get some work done. Like I don't have to like leave or like do anything, and if I leave I could, you know, like I don't know, I was kind of like letting my guard down, like, oh, everything's finally back to normal like back in the day, like, you know. So I'm working, and I'm working on a really big launch. I do my business myself. I make my jewelry myself. Literally everything is handmade. I pump it out myself. You know, like, give me a pat on the back. I wasn't really used to this business lifestyle, and it's very busy. By the end of the day, I was starving, so I went downstairs and there was pizza, and I was like, clutch. Mind you, I'm not really registering that my dad isn't here. My dad, he usually like just buys pizza, like if he comes in late, like sometimes he'll get pizza like random days. So when there was pizza, I was like, oh, dad is clutch. And then I got to thinking, wait, my dad's not here. So I said, who bought this pizza? Because my brain started talking to me. And y'all, pick up when y'all brain tell y'all something. Listen, I cannot stress this enough. Now I don't play no games. Whatever my brain says, I'm listening. I don't give a fuck. If my brain's like, don't give him a second chance, I'm not. If I don't care, bro. I trust myself now. So so I was like, oh, who brought pizza? And my brother and my cousins were downstairs, and they were like, oh, Mariah bought pizza. And I was like, okay. I said, wait, is it for everyone? And the thing was, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I think she felt like I was hogging food or something, because I would buy groceries. But a long time ago, when my mother used to live here, she said, if you want something and it's not in that cabinet, you need to get it yourself. And that's what I started doing. Like I would get groceries like chips and little stuff, and I would keep it up in my room. And if I forgot to go meal prepping or whatever it's called, I would Brendan would basically just get me food. So I didn't know, like I really didn't know, I promise to you, I didn't know that it was making her mad like it made her mad. And she said something, because I remember we almost fought before that, but we didn't. I don't know, it kind of died down. But basically I was making curry for my meal prep because it's cheap, And I was in the kitchen and she was like, oh, I just know that better be for everybody. Like, I don't know, it was on that type of energy, and I didn't like the way she came at me. And this was like, for some reason, like when I turned 18, 19, 20, I really started growing into myself, and like it took me a couple years to see everything for what it was and calm down after that. So after that, I kind of could see where I stood in certain situations, and I started liking myself again. And basically I stood up for myself, but we didn't end up fighting. It wasn't even like a disrespectful, it was just like, oh, like it was laugh like, oh, don't play now. But that was growth, because before I wouldn't do that. I would just be like, yeah, it's for everybody. I see that there's pizza, so I'm like, oh, is this for everybody? Something in my brain told me, ask, is this for everybody? And they're like, yeah. And I said, I walked downstairs and I said, hey, Mariah. Like, I went to her door because her and her boyfriend were in there, and they were just watching TV, about to eat pizza. So I knocked on the door. I said, hey, Mariah. And I couldn't see her face, and I regret that so bad. I should have opened the door and like had a face-to-face discussion, because like I wasn't really thinking. I was super tired and I had really bad anxiety, but I still could have opened that door and been like, is this for everybody? Like real quick, you know, like what's a little derealization gonna do? Okay, so this is where the disagreement came into play. There were two pizzas. There was a white sauce pizza and there was a red sauce pizza. And I asked her, I said, is this white sauce pizza for everyone? She said, no, it's for me and her boyfriend. That's what she said. And I was like, oh, okay. Mind you, I'm off that work brain. I'm not thinking like that. I wish she would have told me, hey, this pizza's for everybody in the house but you. I wish she would have told me that. And it's not like I would have even got mad, because I wouldn't have really expected anything more or less. Like, I'd be like, fair enough. I don't know, I kind of would have expected it, but I just much rather have told her. I'd much rather her have told me, hey, this pizza's like not for you, and you know, it's for everyone else. Because sometimes I'd be a little slow. Like, I'm smart, but sometimes I overthink the overthink, and then I end up being a little slow. So I'm like, okay, I double check. So I'm not gonna get a white sauce pizza, I'm gonna get a red sauce pizza. I'm walking upstairs and I said, are you sure this pizza's for everybody? Because I don't know, like my intuition was like beaming too much, and I was like, girl, that's your anxiety, you need to stop. So they're like, oh yeah, it's for everybody. But really, they were trying to save my feelings. They were trying to protect my feelings and basically be like, we're gonna let her take 2 of our red sauce pizzas that Mariah bought us. So okay, so basically my sister Mariah, she bought 2 pizzas. She bought red sauce pizza and white sauce pizza, and my siblings were gonna let me take 2 of the red sauce pizzas and eat it, and they weren't gonna tell Mariah. So that was the case, but they didn't tell me, because if they would have just told me, I would have been like, nah, and I really just would have like laid dead on the bed till my DoorDash came or something. I was really tired, and I was like, do you want to like put the plate back or just go upstairs and eat it, because it's here, it's free food? Like, something in me just felt off. Like, my parents wasn't here, anything could happen. Something felt off, even though we had talked the week before and we had been talking previously. Something felt off. Like, it threw me off that we fought, because before she'd be like, sissy or sister, I'm eating the pizza, and next thing I hear thump 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 thump, and I'm like, what? So I'm sitting down right here, legs like literally crisscross applesauce, like, you know, my legs was like this, and my back was up to my bed, and I took one bite out the pizza and went, didn't even eat the shit. And I'm tired like this, tired, because I just been in this room all day, like, you know, packaging orders and all this stuff. So I'm tired. And so she walks up, and my door was already open. It was just cracked. So she walks up and she cracks it, and she's like, did you get pizza? And I said, yeah, thank you. My dumb ass. I really thought she meant like, oh, did you eat? Like, I really thought she meant that. But she said, did you get pizza? I said, yeah, thank you. Because I thought it was gonna be one of those situations where like she was like, you need to say thank you. Like, I remember on Christmas, I gave her a gift, and I'm not the type of person, like, if I give you a gift, I'm not gonna be like, say thank you now. Like, I'm not that type of person. But when she gave me my gift, she was like, you didn't say thank you. Or everyone was pressing me like, now you need to say thank you now. You need to say thank you. And I'm like, whoa, like, I don't even want the gift no more. Like, this is too much pressure, you know? So yeah, so I thought it was one of those situations like, oh, you need to say thank you if you're eating my pizza. And I was like, thank you. Like, I was thinking about other stuff. I don't know, I felt like I couldn't keep up with the damn traps I was being that was being set. So I was like, thank you. She was like, no, that pizza was not for you. And I just already had enough. Like, my friends was 6 feet under, my uncle just passed away, my other uncle in a coma. Like, I just watched the neighbor, like I was on 10. Like, I felt like it really took me to like lose everybody. And well, I won't say lose everybody, but it really took me to like go through grief with like a lot of people I really cared about, and go through family issues to really know who I am and stick up for myself every time. Like, every time. It don't matter how small it is, don't matter how big it is. Like, I really have self-respect for myself now. So she was like, no, that pizza wasn't for you. And she was so livid. And I was like, well, take the pizza, because I was annoyed. Like, I felt like all of that, it just got built up. Like, all that anger, I was like, well, take the pizza. And I just slid it. And no, that's what happened. I was like, well, take the pizza. And I got up, because I only took one bite out of, I had 2 pizzas, I only took one bite. The shit already cold now. Like, y'all know, if y'all order pizza, y'all gotta eat it fresh. Y'all I put it on a plate, because we argued. I'm like, thank you. And I put it down, because I can already tell this is gonna go next level. I'm just trying to figure out, like, is she gonna make a scene, like knock down everything in my room? Like, I'm trying to sense where this is going. I'm trying to think in the future and stuff. And I'm like, here, we'll take the pizza. And she storms out, and she storms down the steps, and I'm following her like, here, take the pizza. We finally get downstairs, and that's when everybody's in the kitchen. There was a lot of like stuff going on, so I feel like when everybody heard yelling, everybody was on 10. Like, even my aunt, I don't think she was here, but my sister's boyfriend was on 10, my brothers, my little cousin, because we was used to that type of energy. I'm not really the type of person to, if I'm angry about something, I don't really yell. Like, I don't know, like, say if I'm angry at someone, like one of my cousins, I don't yell at them, you know. Like, I just get on them, and then like, that's it. Like, I don't know, I talk like quieter. And when I'm fighting, or if I have to fight, like, I can't think of stuff to say fast. Like, I can't do that. Like,
What I mean to say is, like, if I really care about somebody and I'm trying to build a relationship with you, I don't have stuff off the top of my head that I could talk about you, because I'm not thinking about it. I'm not trying to do it. So if you ask me to fire off at the mouth, I don't have anything to say about you.
we go back and forth and be like, you bald head, or da-da-da-da. Like, I don't know. I just can't. I really can't talk right now, because I'm on 10. Like, so we get downstairs, and it's like, as I'm saying the story, I'm getting pictures of it in my head, y'all. I couldn't eat pizza for weeks, because every time I would eat pizza, I would think about the situation. I would get sick. But so yeah, so we go downstairs, and she was like, how dare you eat all that DoorDash in our face. And I didn't know that she knew I was DoorDashing, because I would get it and like walk upstairs and like go in my room, and like after I get done working, I would just eat on my bed. But she was like, you eat all that DoorDash in our face, and you really think I'm gonna give you a pizza? And she was like, I don't even give a about that stupid business. And that hurt, 'cause I'm like, yo, that's when I got heated, because I was like, I trusted you. Like, I can't, that is my biggest pet peeve. Like, if I open up to trust you again and you wrong me, like, that's my biggest pet peeve. That's why I don't give people second chances no more. So yeah, she was like, I don't F your stupid business. And I'm in shock, because I'm like, you just was rooting me on like a week ago. And that's actually exactly what I said. I was like, you was just hyping me up last week. Why is this braid so damn short? Oh, so yeah, and she was like, she said something like, you walk around here, you don't talk to us, you ignore us. And that was true. But another thing, I feel like nobody really understood what I was really going through. Like, losing all those people, what it can do to your mind in a quick time span like that. It can put you in a trance. Like, I can't explain it. And I couldn't deal with that on top of family drama, because they will always, like, my father would always have to tell me, we'll take the higher road, when I was on the verge of really just going insane because I couldn't take the higher road. So what I would do, I would just ignore everybody, like, because I couldn't. Like, I couldn't. He would bring food. He would try to get us together and stuff. But, like, something little would happen. Like, I forgot we didn't have no toilet paper. It was no toilet paper in my sister's bathroom or something. And she yelled at my dad. And she was like, what the hell? Or she said something. It was like, I don't know. I can't remember. But I remember running downstairs like, Dad was wrong. Because, like, I don't know. I guess I used to think I was like my dad's nurse or some shit. So basically my dad had an aneurysm like when we was younger. And when he gets stressed, like, he can't really get his blood pressure too high. Cause it can really, like, it can, you know, it can hurt him. So when she was yelling at him over the toilet, like, oh my God, da 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 da. I came downstairs because I was like, I'd rather you yell at me while I'm out of my mind right now than you yell at Dad. Like, just deflect just that energy thrown off. So I run downstairs. I'm like, Dad was wrong, blah, blah, blah. So it'll be little situations like that. That's what I mean when, like, everybody was kind of used to this. So, so we're arguing over pieces. She was like, F your stupid business. And I'm taken back because I'm like, you talking about me, calling me a punk, like, that didn't really hurt me anymore because I kind of knew I wasn't. I was growing my kahunas. Like, when I was going through these things where grief, where I had to be strong for myself, you know, my mom wasn't there. Like, it was just me, myself, and I. So I was really, like, I knew that I wasn't the same person. But I felt like she didn't really know that because she didn't come along on the journey because it was kind of like we were separated. Arguing, and I was like, well, take the pizza. And I slid it on the table, and it was right there on the table. And then she was like, I guess when I finally said something back, because I wasn't cursing, I was like, oh, but you was just in my room cheering me on. Like, I was calm and she was yelling over me. But when she said what she said about my business, that's when I kind of got emotional. And she was like, you walk around here, you ignore us, you act like, she said something about my anxiety. Like, I don't know why. My family swore I was faking my anxiety. Oh my God, they swore up and down. I was like, y'all, I don't want to be this messed up. I don't want, like, I really don't. Like, I feel like social anxiety is something you can't fake. Like, it'll literally take the breath out of you. And it may look like, yeah, like, but, like, no. When you're really going through it, sometimes you cannot be around people. Because, like, if you sit still, you'll start having intrusive thoughts like, where do we go after we die? Or how do you feel about the afterlife? Do you believe in Christ? You're gonna start having a lot of, like, intrusive thoughts. So you just can't really be around a lot of people certain periods of your life when you experiencing stuff. So when she started saying that, I started tearing up because she just, like, released this fire in me, because I was just like, you don't know what I've been through type stuff. Like, even though we both was at the same funeral, but yeah, like, I feel like, whew, it was hard. And then I was having to go with Brendan because, you know, we lost his grandmother. It was all around the same thing. Then we lost his grandfather a week later. So you know, we was having to be at the hospice, I think it's called. So I had a lot of fire in me, and when she said that, I was crying. But I wasn't crying like I was crying. I was like that. I was crying because I was tired and I was angry. I wasn't crying because I was sad. I was tired because I was crying because I was angry. So I actually wanted us to fight because I kind of needed somewhere for this, like, emotion to go, if that sounds like a little crazy. But, like, I was really pissed that my friends passed away. So I was like, if we can, like, you know, if we can scrap or whatever, like, I can kind of get that anger out on her without looking a little psycho. So whatever. So at this point, I'm not even thinking, oh my God, can I fight or can I not? It was really like an emotional abuse type of situation. That's how this fight came about, right? So after she's saying all this stuff, I finally got emotional. I was like, well, take the pizza, and I slid it. And she was like, she turned around, she said, don't get all big and bold, because nobody's here to protect you. And she was talking about mom and dad, like, nobody's here to protect you. And that triggered the fuck out of me, because I just felt like I didn't have nobody. I didn't make a face. I was just like, I said something like, you used to pick on me when we was younger. I don't know. It was kind of like it didn't sound like how it was coming out now. Like, you used to pick, it sounded like, you used to pick on me when we was younger. And it sounded like that. So I was like, because it took a lot to bring this out of me. Like, I can't explain it. Like, it took a lot to, like, remember all these things. It's like she was just throwing it at me, having me remember it when I didn't want to think about some of these things. Like, you know, this person passed away. I didn't want to think about that shit. especially right now in front of all y'all. So I'm like, she was like, don't make me put my hands on you, or she said something like that. No, she said something like, don't get your A beat or something. And I was really like ready. Like, I don't know why this day I was so ready, but I was ready. And yeah, so she was like, don't make me beat your A or something, after she was like, you don't have nobody here to protect you. And she was like, you better pipe down, because I will lay my hands on you. And I was like, then do it. Rematch, bitch. That's exactly what I said. And then that's when I got on my tangent, like, you used to hit on me when we was kids, you would try to bully me, all that stuff, but now I'm older. I said something like, but I'm 19 now, try me. And that's when we started fighting. So boom, we fighting. But here's the thing, this made me so mad. Oh my god, this made me so mad. Like, even on Bad Kids Club, like, I was fighting my cousin KJ, and that's like my best friend, bro. So like, I was fighting my cousin KJ, and when I fight, like, I be trying to land every hit, because I'm angry with you. I don't try to be like this and stuff, but she fought like that, so it kind of made me fight like that, and I was just so angry. Plus, when we fought, oh, I forgot the whole, like, hold on. So plus, when we fought, when I said something back like, rematch, bitch, like, when that came out my mouth, everybody was basically expecting me to be like, I don't want to fight, or da 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 da. So when I said that, my brother and my little cousins turned around like, did she just say what she said? So they didn't expect me to feed into what she was throwing out, because usually everybody would just ignore it, like, oh, she's just having one of her tempers again or whatever. So I just couldn't take it that day. I don't even know why. I just couldn't take it that day, for real, if I'm being honest. My brother and her boyfriend ran into the middle of the fight, because they seen us ready to connect. And we're not gonna lie, like, she was getting hits in, I was getting hits in, but it wasn't connecting. Like, I was so angry because it wasn't fucking connecting. Like, oh my god, this shit was making me so angry. So I hate when, like, here's my thing, if somebody finna fight, let them fight. Don't jump in the middle, because you're gonna prolong the situation. They're gonna want to rematch, all that shit. Like, just let them fight, let them get it out their system, and then when you need to break it up, even if it gets serious, let them fight. They need to get it out their system, type stuff. So they dove in between us, and we're still trying to fight with two people up under us, and that's how heads got brought into it. Mind you, I have these long braids. They weren't like this, they were kind of like the similar parts, but they were long like this, right? And I don't know how, but she wasn't pulling my hair at this point, because I had my hair like this, because I was working. You know, I had it like this, like, you know, the little Caucasian swoop. Y'all know what I'm talking about, because I didn't expect to get in a fight, but if I was getting in a fight, I would have took the braids out. Oh wow, now I remember. Wow, I'm remembering so many memories, and that wasn't the first time that we almost fought, because I remember I had to wear like sneakers, a hoodie, and sweats around my house a lot, because she would always try to fight me. Her boyfriend is holding her, and I'm holding her, and we're punching, and it, like, she darted into me, because I didn't expect, I never got in a fight before, nothing like that. So when she darted into me, not gonna lie, I was a little in shock. She darted into me, and I started hitting her, because I was so angry. I was just hitting her for all of them years. All them years that you tormented me. So yeah, I was hitting her, and then, like, she tried to, like, push back against, like, it was people in between us, so she tried to, like, push and get to me in between her boyfriend, and she was, like, trying to grab on me and stuff, but she wasn't grabbing on my hair. That's why I had my hair back. She wasn't grabbing on my hair, because my hair was like this, and I had on a muscle shirt, like a sports workout shirt with some pants, Levi's. So I don't know, I feel like that was kind of the perfect outfit that day, because yeah, she, like, pushes into me, and she hit me one time, and it made me so mad that she even touched me. I was so angry. I was so angry. But yeah, so I launched myself, like, I'm like, boom, get off me, like, trying to get my brother off me and stuff, and her boyfriend is between her, and I finally get good. So I'm hitting, and I'm making sure I connect. I don't give a fuck. I'm not hearing anything. It literally sounds just like this. I'm not hearing Ashton. I'm not hearing nothing. None of us are hearing it. Both of us are seeing red. So we're fighting, and she tries to pull my hair. She, like, when I was, like, when I had launched forward like this, bop, 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 because I hate fighting like this. Like, it's so annoying. Like, I'd rather we get in there like this. So when I'm like this, bop, 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 she I guess when I came back, she got a hold of me like this, right? So that's how she pulled this or whatever. I don't know, I leaned in towards her pulling my hair. That's exactly what I did without even thinking. She pulled it, I leaned in towards her. So since she pulled my hair, she was wearing like a ponytail bun type of situation. I pulled her edges. I started yanking and twisting my hands. I started yanking and twisting my hands. I was so angry. I can't even express to y'all how angry I was. But I started yanking and twisting my hands on her edges, and I was just slowly, I don't know why I was being so demented in this fight for real. Like, what are you doing? So I'm pulling her and I'm like, oh, she wanna pull your hair? Make sure you pull her edges. Cause I didn't wanna pull her ponytail, cause I'm like, I'm doing damage. Cause like, if you pull her ponytail, like she just gonna go like this. But if you pull her fucking edges off, she gonna be like, I'm not gonna do this again. So in between us, and like it's really like she's hitting my brother, and when I hit, I'm hitting her boyfriend. So that's what's blowing the fuck out me, because I'm like, move out the way, move out the way, move out the way, move out the way. So yeah, so she ended up having my hair like this, and I leaned into it. I started grabbing her edges and stuff, and yeah, so she was like, you ripped my favorite shirt, bitch. And I don't know, it just made me so mad. And I was like, cha-ching, Sheen shirt. I don't know what is wrong with me. But I took the shirt and I went, yeah, I ripped it apart. And then she was exposed. I realized, all right, like chill out, chill out, chill out. And we stopped fighting. And I you know, my adrenaline's coming down. I'm finally taking into account what is going through my head. And I'm like, oh, you just worked out. Remember that fight? Remember when I was telling y'all about how I had a fear of heat or a fear of working out? So basically, I hurry up and I'm like, all right, you don't need to embarrass yourself in front of everybody because you're having a panic attack. I'm having a fucking panic attack right now. So I'm like this. And I get my hair tie. I walk over and I get my hair tie. I pick it up. And I remember throwing my phone on the couch. Like, one of my little cousins had to bring this shit to me. Because I'm totally, once I walked upstairs, I walked upstairs so calmly. I didn't storm nothing. I just walked up the steps like ready for, like, just ready for war. And I was just praying, bro. I just started praying, and I was like, dear Lord God, thank you for allowing me, like, giving me the strength, you know. So I started praying, and I'm walking up the steps, and I finally realized I ain't got my goddamn phone.
This is editing me right now, but I forgot the funniest part of the story, bro. So as I'm walking up the steps slowly, right, my sister was like, she was upstairs screaming. So everybody stayed down here with her and was like comforting her and stuff like that. And she was saying stuff like, bitches are hella weird. Bro, the speech was funny. Like, it wasn't funny back then, but now I can actually laugh at it because it's just funny.
So I'm still in shock, and I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh my God, I just got my first fight. That's the first thing I do. I don't know why I'm so crazy. I'm like if I'm crying, I'd be like, literally the night before I was so depressed. Like, I literally have pictures, and I have a picture when I was the night I had gotten in a fight with the braids. You know, I'm gonna put that in here. So yeah, so after that, my cousin brings my phone upstairs, and I get on the phone with Brennan, and it's just like when I heard his voice, I just start crying. I need to get out of the house. I hate everybody here. Y'all know the whole rundown. So after I got in that fight, I really don't feel like I messed up my growth. I actually feel like I aided my growth tremendously. But yeah, so that was the fight, and he was basically like, oh, do you want me to come pick you up? And I started thinking about Moo. One thing about me, I don't let Moo be. I don't like Moo here. I like to bring him everywhere if I can. But if I can't and it's just one night, that's okay. But I thought about Moo, and I was like, no, she mad at me. She gonna let my cat out. I know she is. So I was like, no, I'm gonna stay here. But it took everything in me to not just go over to my friend's house, because I was like, I'm gonna just leave Moo in here. I'm gonna put stuff by the door. Like, I'm gonna lock the door, and I'm just go to sleep. Mind you, I didn't eat that night. I didn't fucking eat that night because I never ate. I didn't eat that night. So I just went to sleep just eating air. I didn't even feel comfortable enough to go downstairs and like get the DoorDash or nothing like that. I was just watching the show, and I just was sitting there in silence plotting.
Y'all, this has nothing to do with the video, but watch my sis eat. Look, shimmy, shimmy, yeah. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah. Yeah. They're just not giving what he's giving. Fuck it up. Look. Look, y'all, watch this. He gonna forget the arm. Look. Look, what is that? He leaving traffic. I'm scared. Oh, he knew he got a concussion after that. What's that smell? Period. Y'all, wish Buddha happy prom. But are we just gonna act like that top kick was underwhelming? Kick higher, stink.
So that is the end of that story. It's gotten a lot better since then, and everybody's relationship has improved and stuff like that. But that is a very crazy story, and that just goes to show, like, everyone has a different perspective of you and a perspective of a story. And the lesson here is that if you don't stand up for yourself and if you don't protect yourself, that bully is always going to try to bully you. Because the second after we got in that fight, we didn't have any more disagreements. She never, you know, tried to put her hands on me. You really have to set that standard with people, and you have to stand your ground, and you can't let people walk all over you. It may take you some time to come into your skin and be confident in yourself and protect yourself and love yourself. But trust me, the journey is well worth it. And once you get there, it'll all be worth it. And nobody will be able to, you know, throw dirt on your name or just handle you any type of way they can handle you. Like, nobody's gonna do that anymore. Once you respect yourself, other people will respect you as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This story time was so crazy. Like, it went from happy to crazy to happy, like to sad, so just whoo, traumatic. The trauma dumping is real. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. If you guys want to see other story times of mine, click the link in the description. I have many more story times just like this one. Bye.
There is nothing in your eyes, but that's